Today I'm going to be doing a new type of video where I kind of narrate a match between Jacob Lamar and Phil Rowe. Jacob I've known for a while now. Competed against him a couple times and rolled with him. Super good dude. I think he's a fantastic human being and a super good competitor. Um, and then Phil, of course, he fights in the UFC. I don't know too much about his grappling, but he's got to be a beast if he's in the UFC. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show like this match, and then I'll pause and talk about things, highlight some stuff with this drawing, and then I'm also going to splice in like live examples of what I'm talking about. That way it's kind of easier to follow. And then at the end, we'll just sum it up and talk about that. So let's go ahead and get started. Forgive me as I figure all the controls and stuff out. But all right, so
Philip is in the shape we all want to be in.
watched this a few
Just
times now,
young, tight cut.
and they're going to start off with just like a almost similar tie-up. Jacob will have the inside tie with his collar tie, and looks like a neutral grip here, just like mercy grips. Nobody's going one way or the other. Phil has the over tie, which controls the posture, which is pretty good from half guard. So starting off here, what I'd like to see Jacob do is connect this knee to that hip and then shuffle that knee to the far hip. I'm probably going to say this a lot, but I'm kind of on a kick with the half guard, and that's a really good way to control the half guard. Let's see what Jacob ends up doing.
Phil going without the shirt.
Looks like he settles in,
straps.
gets a weave grip,
For a knee shield
and starts to just control from here. So immediately, what I would like to see him do is one of two things. You can, depending on the match and like the length of time and all that good stuff, will influence your strategy. But what I'd like to see him do is either camp, meaning like he's going to put pressure and try and touch his chest to his chest at a weird angle on the frames, so that it fatigues Phil. Now, he could also do that, or he could start to look to disconnect and start to pass one way or the other outside the legs.
Pulls guard.
So, okay, real quick. This you'll see in any sort of half guard passing. Man, I wish he'd use like a shin pin or something right here. That'd be good. But some things he's doing really well. You'll see Jacob rarely gets out of position. He does a really, really good job always having head position, usually having inside ties. It's very hard to disrupt Jacob's base and get an opening. He's pretty self-conscious about that. So, or conscious about that, not self-conscious about it. But what he's doing well here. So, not too long ago, I was at a seminar that Placido taught, and it was half guard passing and a little bit of outside passing. And he talked about the importance of getting this knee to this hip, as well as essentially like a warning that you need to pay attention to. If Phil scoops the leg and starts to bring his head here and attach, bad news for us. So as soon as there's a disconnect here and these two start to come in play, warning bells need to go off, and you need to immediately address that. And Jacob does. He actually starts to post in the throat right here, and that will deny Phil any sort of decent connection. This is honestly my favorite way to clear that. See, Jacob is like-minded.
Jacob feels so long.
Nice. Okay, so This happens pretty quickly, so I don't think like it's that big of a deal. But if this was a perfect world, this is what we'd do. Do you see how he's like stretched out like this? What we could do is a couple things. One, get this elbow, and it will come in here and block this hip, either through like a back grip or just using an elbow. Doesn't really matter, like you would like in J-point or something. Just get the inside position. Of course, connect here to here, and you could use this arm to either, ideally, it's super OP when you can, but get a near side underhook or just a standard crossface.
So strong. Crazy.
His head away from you, it's going to be difficult.
Got it.
Now just push his knee down and just walk towards his hips to flatten his hips out. Nope, towards his hips. Good. Now put your elbow on the floor and cover his hips, right elbow, and now take your left hand around and cross face him. Beautiful. now you can get chest to chest.
So
Striations
multiple
and
times.
looks like he's
attack is
pinning.
something I-
All right, one more thing, and I'll let us like watch a little bit more. But you'll notice Jacob will constantly look to pin the hand to either to the mat or to Phil. Now this is a really good habit. So anytime you have like your grip fighting and it's in neutral space, it can move around, right? Like this. But if you can pin it to either the person or yourself, then it becomes much more difficult to clear any grips.
Dominant grips. I do think I have an inherent advantage because one, I can put weight through my grips, right? Because I can like punch this into your chest.
Yeah.
So you try to strip. It's actually a lot harder than if we were standing, it's more neutral because I can't necessarily put as much weight through.
Yes, true.
If we're just here, you can grip, right?
Yeah, easily, yeah.
But now because I can maybe pin this to your body,
Oh, this is nice.
pin this to the
Oh my
mat,
God, yeah.
and so on, I feel like it gives me a lot of an advantage.
Yeah.
to have on mine.
You see multiple
here,
times him use those long limbs
like they're fighting
to
for that
his
position.
advantage in those grappling situations.
Jacob tries to go for a body
Probably not
lock
a longer
here.
competitor than him
It's difficult
tonight.
when he's like
In
flat on the
many
mat, so to
ways.
get your hands together. Sometimes I like to rock him side to side or something like that, but Phil does a good job here
Let you
creating
guys
a frame
love
and
that,
pushing him away. So this is actually a really good lesson here for both competitors. Now watch, Jacob has pretty solid like head to chest in the center, almost chest to chest connection.
Now Phil Rowe.
Okay. Now, he's now created a frame in here. There's no solid connection for the butterfly hooks. It looks to me like there's no upper body connection with like an overhook or underhook or anything like that. So, in my opinion, Jacob could look to pivot instead of persist from here. So, he could back step this way and start to create a solid angle, maybe look to J-point or something like that. Or he could also fight the leading edge here. I think, God, what is that guy's name? I think it's Sebastian. I think his YouTube's like Ebsays or something. But you could also fight the frames by rotating your head. He talks about like shaking his head like a dog. That's a very good analogy. You can also go up and down, left and right, whatever, or use your own shoulder to come over the top of his elbow. You just need to collapse these frames, and you could still persist that way, but I would have pivoted here.
Let you guys
I
decide.
love that shin to the face.
Looks like
Love
they get
it.
into a half guard. So from here, what I would do is I would collapse on this underhook because it's in my shoulder, right? Or in his shoulder. So I would look to collapse over the top right here. And you could use this underhook. You can see how he's controlling the inside tie there. You could switch to an underhook, lift, fill up. I'll have to see if I can find a clip of this one. Lift him up, plop him back down, and now you're in chest to chest with the near side underhook. That is an ideal situation.
It's an underhook on me. I'm going to think of his arm like a lever. I'm going to bring my torso down to the end of the lever on his wrist. So I'm going to turn myself almost perpendicular with him right here. So now my armpit is over his wrist and my right elbow is tight to his hip and I'm almost connecting my elbow to my knee. So when he goes to use this underhook right here, It's difficult for him.
Frame looking to underhook,
So right there.
potentially wrestle up from here. Yes, he's going to try to wrestle up
Trying to
from
get out.
Okay,
Shrimp
he
the
almost
hips.
loses it. Okay. That was a really, really short but good exchange here. So Phil's trying to take the angle, and he wants to come and wrestle up. Jacob has an inside tie, inside head position, and he's creating weight going this way. It's going to be difficult. Now, he can convert this into a pass, but what he does is he starts
going to try to wrestle up
watch this, he turns the knee and puts it across the hip. He's got his whizzer, and the knee comes across. I know it can be difficult just because like this weird kind of triangle-esque setup here, but you can still continue to pass. What he could do is start to bring his hips this way and look to solidify into a, I think Gordon calls it like a pseudo half, or I'd have to remember, but it's not quite mount, not quite half guard, but you'd be controlling the inside space here.
Ooh, Jacob using it to go into mount. Very good transition. He is by his guard.
So a little
but
battle to get
Phil
to
very good at
the
recovering
coyote
that
guard.
Keeping that elbow pasted to that thigh, not letting him pass through.
Jacob he's got this weird like cat-like thing where it's
Jacob
like
might be a silver fox
almost
out there,
impossible to sweep the dude.
not letting anything slide.
You think you get him, and then he freaking
Got a little
somehow balances and
cup
gets
grip.
out.
Phil
There's always one at the
still
gym.
trying to use the wrestle up, but Jacob using.
Okay, so something we can talk about right here is so you have a path here, a little fork in the road. When you start to lose position, which Jacob has, he's got weight towards the hands. It's coming this way. Phil now has a Casoto hook, so he can torque on the knee as well as a hamstring to keep the weight dispersed that way. So Jacob can do one of two things, in my opinion. He can either attack the head. You see how like the head starts to come up. That's an option. You can start to go towards, arm and guillotine, try and set up a darce. It's easier when it's in the back versus like the hands this way versus towards the hamstring. Makes it a lot more difficult. So that's probably not your best option. This would probably be your better option. He could backstep and entangle both these legs, right? He could attack, he's essentially attacking the top leg, getting into cross ashi, and then scooping up this bottom leg, getting into double trouble. Now, this would give you two options. You could either continue to attack, or if Phil starts to resist and starts to try and escape, he can then switch it, coming this way, and switch back to a pass. Oliver Taza, I believe, is super good at that.
That wizard to cancel that out.
So it keeps the cross face, trying to keep that top position. Deny Phil any
Jacob is
sort
a
of
movement
angle.
away from getting his heel free to get that knee
And,
slice, but
I think
I
Phil
guarantee
collects
you
both legs
Phil
here.
scrambles out like to his right elbow. Just
Yeah, both guys are like 2 moves ahead right now.
yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
Phil's
Tight
like,
I don't
position.
think Phil has
he's
good
gonna
enough
sweep him up.
torque on this side of this knee, but he also doesn't collect this leg good enough. So Jacob, of course, is able to sprawl back and punch in an unhook and just sit Phil back down. So what I would have done here, I mean, I think Phil falls backwards, but I think what I would have done here is sprawl my hips back all the way and attack the front headlock.
Beautiful job by Phil Rowe. Gets back on.
But yeah, that's still perfectly fine. He's still in top position.
Top. Good job by Jacob getting him back down and
So,
settling into the guard. Phil
I think we'll
close to the
see
guard.
here
Boys are having fun in there.
Phil just controls the
Jacob using his forehead,
arms
trying
more
not to let
via either like an
Phil
underhook
get anywhere underneath
or
him.
this like Williams guard thing going on here.
Because where the head goes, the body follows. So if Jacob can prevent Phil's head from going anywhere.
Let's
Look at the
see.
grip
Yeah,
that Phil
just
has.
continues to do that. Jacob keeps head position and
He's
keeps a
starting
body
to
lock.
set up
Here's what I would do.
and isolate.
And you'll see, actually this is really good right here. I like this control. Just monitoring. You don't even have to like make it super stiff. You're just like essentially like feeling out and guiding Phil's arms and preventing any sort of solid control. What I would look to do is immediately build up height, even if there's control over my upper body. I feel like it's easier to start to slip out of things. Like you can, this arm right here, I believe he has an overhook. It makes it much easier to limp arm out, and you can even just scrape off that top control. Makes it tougher for Phil to reattack. He might try and like enter the legs or do like that that double heel sweep or whatever, but this can be negated.
Jacob.
You either do it where I step a leg up and I flare a leg out from here, and then now from here, you can stand pretty easily, or we can just lean forward and then we stand vertical.
Jacob's left arm.
Just under halfway
2.5
to go.
left, 2.5.
Could be setting up an omoplata from here.
So it can feel a bit scary, and it can feel like here he's like trying to set up a triangle.
It's that
But-
glitch grip. He's setting up a triangle. I'm trying not to talk too loud.
I'm not
so
sure why maybe
They don't hear
he's
us.
too scared of this
I want
blocking.
Jacob to naturally defend.
Yeah, actually,
But
it's
Jacob doing
right
a good
in
job
front of
denying
us.
any sort of angle.
That is beautiful. The way he's framing his face.
Here,
up.
right there is like a
See
really
it?
good moment to
Throws
start to
it over
posture
elbow.
and limp arm out.
Just under 2 minutes to go.
Pass.
What Phil's trying to do too.
It's
is
scary
he's
to learn
trying
at
to
first,
isolate
but
his right arm,
I think that's the superior way to do it.
punch his wrist through. That's what he's doing now. If he gets the
Jacob
wrist
honestly
grip, he's gonna try
probably
to
already
punch it
knows
in.
all these
He's
things.
sitting in a triangle.
I'm just pointing out to you guys.
He might even say, forget trying to get both in and just armbar that outside arm. Because look how tight Jacob's. Well, now Jacob's arm's a little bit out. That might have created enough space.
There we go.
Phil's just
Okay,
gonna
so
trailers right
Phil opens up, and they end up in a really low knee shield half guard. So I believe he lets him get hooked back up here, but what I would look to do is to change the tempo, and instead of continuing towards like the smash inside, especially with such little time left, I think it's less than 2 minutes, what I would look to do is now, since these legs are open, let's create some disconnection and start to pivot around the guard. You can also look to bring the head up, sprawl the hips down, and then pummel the foot out. That will allow you to get outside the legs.
Trying to get a hip, trying to get back to his legs.
Such a deep angle on that. I'm not the biggest fan. When it starts to get to the high knee shield, it becomes more difficult to sprawl on. However, it becomes easier to do the inside position, meaning you're going to get your elbow inside his thigh and hips here. A couple ways you can do that is through either a split squat, meaning you're going to use your knee to go forward here and you rest your shin on top of his inner thigh. I can show a quick example of that. And then you can fight from there. You can also look to switch. This is a bit of a weird one, but where you'll take this knee, like you'll hand fight up top. It's so hard to show here, this angle. I'll find a clip to do that, but you'll take this knee and put it towards that hip. As soon as you have an opening, you step this knee up, and now it becomes much easier to use your elbow or what have you to clear this shin. And now from there, you can look to either go to like a smash pass, or there's a couple different options, but it clears the knee shield.
kind of at a
There's different ways in the
stalemate
gi,
here. Somebody's gonna have to go, and I
which I
think
find a lot
Phil's
easier,
still
but
setting up to wrestle up. He's gonna
so
deep half
Phil
sweep
gets
him.
underneath. This is a tough one. Phil has now got good head connection. Look, Jacob's weight's this way. That's no good. The knee's up, so that could help. But Phil also has hands connected, and I believe he has that far side leg scooped. So the fact that Jacob's knee is up helps out a lot. With this underneath, what you can do, believe it was against Patrick Gaudio. I could be wrong, but I'll look for it. When people start to get a deep half guard on you, what you can do is you can take both of your feet and cross them right behind there using this cross face, and you can also use either your hands clasped together or using an elbow over the back grip. And all at the same time, what you're going to do is you're going to extend this arm kind of like that and sprawl your hips back, and that usually clears any sort of clasp that he has.
He's gonna sweep and come up, actually.
Connected hands.
Oh,
Nice.
Jacob's trying to.
Low scrambles, dude.
I think Phil's still
Let's look at
setting up
that.
to wrestle up. He's gonna deep half sweep
Phil
him.
tries to
He's
convert.
gonna sweep and come up.
Jacob with a good job of just sprawling. You see, okay. So he has a couple different options. Step back, but this is controlled. How does he convert it?
Oh.
Nice. Phil tries to come back that way. Jacob takes advantage, plops over, flies
Jacob's
in
trying to
the
go
mount.
right in him out.
Phil starts to recover. It looks to be like, I can't quite tell because of the angle, but it looks to be like it's like almost like an X guard here, but not quite.
Phil's going into.
Oh, that leg is over that leg. Okay, so looks like this leg is wrapped up. So he's got a triangle over that. What I would recommend to go back to a half guard is there's going to be a lack of connection here. Even if he does connect his hands, which I believe he does, you could just peel it, bring that heel over, heel to butt, get to half guard. No frames in place.
The leg entanglement.
Watch that
Super
leg.
deep half to take it
It's right, a bit of a weird scramble.
back. That's what.
Okay. So, Phil's coming out the back door. This can still be salvaged. This all happens in a second, so it's so much easier looking back on it than in the moment, because it's all these exchanges are like 1 second long. But he could whizzer. Then he could. This is important. You don't want to try and rotate back into him as your hips are underneath them, because that's just going to let them collapse you. You're going to want to sit out, like you know, just like a normal wrestling sit out, to get as much space as possible. So that way, one of two things happen. You'll either end up like neutral, or you'll be able to win the head height battle because it extends Phil. Because he's already kind of extended here. This would extend him even more and allow you to collapse on top of him. I believe J-Flow shows this, but
He's doing.
yeah, so he tries to rotate too quick without creating any distance. So he just knee taps him, gets on top.
Now he's
Great
come up.
job by Phil Rowe.
Really good
Up
job.
top, steps right into half
Phil's not
guard.
wasting any time.
You know
And
he's
so
got
in
40
a
seconds
half
left.
guard, trying to go for the Kimura.
We need those pieces of wood.
Phil gets chest on chest, collapses knee position right here, and then brings that knee up. This is a crappy position to be in as the bottom guy. He has a good option here. I think I could find a clip for this, but you're going to... Oh, it's going to be hard to show, but you can take your bottom leg and place it against this, like this side, his top calf, and it's a placeholder. Then you can pummel this top leg of yours in as a butterfly hook. That will essentially lock Phil's top leg into place. Now, from here, it's going to be tough to just like, oh, I'm just going to try and manipulate his weight that way. Because of the angle, not a lot of heat can be put on that. So what you want to do is shift the upper body as well. So you can take this frame, grab the shoulder, and like put your thumb in his armpit, and take the bottom frame, and do the same. So you have close grip around his armpit. From there, you're just going to bring the weight this way, and that will shift his chest from your chest and make space, and then you can start to escape. You can also combine this with like a John Wayne sweep
Like, you got 1 minute.
as well right there. See how he collapses back? You can do the same thing. Just back and forth.
If Phil is able to get into a mount, that will be the most dominant position so far.
So we should
He's fighting.
shift the
Spend more
chest
time on
instead,
top,
but
but
it'd be tough at the end of the
Phil is
match.
still going for more things.
Also, Phil's a huge dude.
Yeah, that's like you
20
said.
seconds left of this fight. Could still be anyone's fight.
And Jacob's doing everything he can, crossing his legs to try to stop Phil from getting into that mounted position.
He's got that lockdown.
Jacob
and
denies
he's not
the
going to give it up in 5
Complete
seconds.
chest to chest with the frame in there.
So Phil's going to just try to do something flashy.
Oh, there we go. He's on his side. Get that knee shield in. Phil rolls.
That's it.
And that's the end
I
of the
would've
match.
loved it.
Okay, so there seems to have been some sort of audio issue with my last recording at the end, so I'm just going to re-record this. So sorry if it's a little janky, but I wanted to go over 3 main objectives that Jacob could add that would, I feel like, drastically improve how this match would have gone. So, first off, what I would do first is I would look to learn how to address, for half guard, the knee situation. So, when passing the guard, we want to pass the feet, the knees, then hips, and then pin the shoulders. So, when we get into half guard, we have to address both knees, because we're already past the feet. We need to look to address both knees. So, number 1, you need to learn how to beat the knees. You can use, and it doesn't really matter which order. There's 2 different strategies you could use. You look to pass the top first and the bottom first, but you've got to address one, and then it's easier to address the other. So whether that be sprawl on the top, smash that top knee down, then beat the bottom knee, or vice versa. Look to get that knee to the hip for the bottom one, and then beat the top knee. It depends heavily on what your partner gives you as far as resistance, but yeah, number 1, beat the knees. Number 2, look to get inside position and control chest to chest. This needs to be like your go-to every time that you're trying to pass half guard. It allows you to keep your partner pinned, but also not only just like with your passing, like controlling them, but it's easier to prevent any sort of escapes when you go from this position. So if I were to just go to like sprawl and then go to the outside and start from side control, this can tend to be difficult because my partner can start to build up. However, if I pin from that chest to chest position, it's much easier to get to something like mount or back control. So 2 would be get chest to chest inside position and control it. And then 3, I would say, is from the bottom of half guard, learning how to deal with when your partner gets chest to chest and how to get back to a solid position. So learning how to control that leg that comes up with a butterfly hook and like a control on the calf, and then also learning how to shift his weight, his chest, off of your chest through like the double armpit grip and just shifting his weight to the side there. So 3 would be learning how to deal with your partner getting chest to chest. So first, beat the knees. Second, learn how to control the inside space. And then 3rd would learn how to get your partner off of your chest. So how to beat the chest to chest. All right. Well, that's the video. Let me know what you guys think I did good. What do you think I could do better? And any requests. All right. Appreciate it, guys. Peace.